Hi, it's the 3-Minute Sociologist again. Today I'd like to talk about some acronyms. There are a lot of acronyms floating around in our society today, and there are a lot of them in social science and in sociology. But the one I like best is POET. That's right, poet. 4 letters that really mean 5 things. Let's take a look at these because I think you'll find them useful and fascinating. Usually, these things are dealt with in a macro level, and we have the social ecologists to thank for that. People like Otis Dudley Duncan and Amos Hawley were people who wanted to talk about the interaction of population, organization, environment, and technology, the 4 parts. Now, what's important with this is that they'd like to take those and look at societies. They'd like to look at human cultures and the interaction between societies and the parts within. But I want to point out also that this acronym, this powerful acronym, can be used at a meso, let's say a middle level, and a micro level. So it can be used to look at organizations as well as societies, and it can also be looked at social psychological levels. Let's take each of these, and then I'll tell you what the 5th thing is. First of all, when we look at population, we're looking at 2 things. How many people, and hence the rate of growth, and just the count of how many are there, and how is that increasing, and what kind of people. And very often demographers who are studying population like to think about gender and age, because those are key factors in determining how many people are around. O stands for organization, and this is how the collective social relationships are set up to deal with human life. Now, usually at the macro level or at the societal level, sociologists are thinking about things like institutions, like family or government or religion, education, economics, as the major ways that a society organizes itself to deal with its population, its environment, and technology. E stands for environment, and here we're talking about not the social environment so much, but the physical and natural surroundings that impact our society and our life. And last but not least, technology. And I like to quote the American Heritage Dictionary on this one because I really like that definition. It's the specific methods, materials, and devices used to solve practical problems. Now, that can be everything from a chip, a microchip, to a spoon, to a shovel, to a spaceship. A variety of ways of dealing with solving practical human problems to conduct life. Now, the 5th part of this is that while these 4 things are separate entities when we look at them, they really interact with one another in a system to provide a 4th, or if you will, a 5th item, which is society itself. And all 4 of these things interacting with one another end up being steeped in culture. So you get population, organization, environment, and technology, and ultimately you can look at them as a whole thing, which is the 5th item. Now, importantly, as an example, let's just suggest that as an applied sociologist, when I walk into an environment, I can always use POET to figure out what's going on. Let's give you a quick example at a micro level. Suppose 2 people are deciding to have a child. They go ahead with that endeavor and find out that there's a baby on board. Now what we see is the potential that the population of 2 could be even more, 3, perhaps 4, 5, whatever. That's going to change the size of the population, and whether it's a boy or a girl will probably make a difference. It's also going to have an impact on organization. The family home now is going to have more people in it in the environment, and we're going to have to worry about how we organize our lives around this newcomer or newcomers. And last but not least, we're going to want to think about the technology that's needed to support this new family system. And we're going to have to wonder about baby monitors and formula or breastfeeding, or what are we going to do to take care of this little child, not the least of which are disposable or not disposable diapers. And then the whole point would be that when a new baby comes into the world, a family system is changed in a large way. And it's not just a function of each of these 4 items, but a function of all 4 of them together. Well, I hope that this micro example gave you a reasonable example of a common everyday life use of POET. Take care and have a good day.